Hello there and welcome back to some more Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Today we're continuing on Let's Play. This is episode 38. In today's episode we are taking a look at a chopper checkpoint. These are unlocked after G Spotlight. There's 4 of them to complete and we begin with our first one here in Ocean Beach, which is on top of apartment 3C. You do need to complete a stunt jump or fly a helicopter up here to get up here, but once you are up here just simply find the Sparrow, get in it, and then chopper checkpoint will begin. As I did mention, these are unlocked after the G Spotlight movie missions. They do not actually say in-game this is unlocked, it's just these sparrows start appearing around the city and this is a thing you can do. You do get $100 for each of them. Again, as I mentioned, there's 4 of them, which I'll show all of them in this video. You do need to complete all 4 of them for 100% completion. You can do all 4 of them at any time you want, in any order you want. There's no specific, you've got to complete the Ocean Beach one to unlock the Vice Point one. No, just 4 sparrows are spawned around the city, and chopper checkpoint is inside all of them. You get $100 for completing each of them, although I believe this might be a cone crazy situation where once you beat your best time you get double the reward money, but this is not a particularly effective way to make money. Again, cone crazy exists if making money is your prerogative. In terms of failing these, there is no time limit, there's nothing of the sorts, it's just the usual fail examples for a vehicle mission, which would be either blowing it up or exiting the vehicle, so just don't do that and you're good to go. Choppers in this game thankfully like to bounce off things in this game, unlike in San Andreas where they're a little bit weaker and can become uncontrollable and eventually blow up into very, very violent multiple explosions. In this game they're more like cars, they'll just bounce around, you can smash them into stuff, and they only really start smoking after a few knocks. So yeah, failing this is quite difficult, as I found out. I mean, I was flying these helicopters pretty abysmally and I only managed to make 1 plume white smoke during the checkpoint mission, and even then it was like, that helicopter was only about 50% health, so it could have gone for a little bit longer. So yeah, the interesting little courses, I guess you can use these to grow some confidence in your flying skills, although by this point in the game you should be a pretty well versed pilot. Other than that, they don't really serve much purpose. The one in Vice Point is the one we'll showcase next. It is in the courtyard of the building that we saw during the chase. Sort of Tommy was running along that roof, you just see in the background there. Right in the middle you will find the Sparrow, and once again that begins the Vice Point chopper checkpoint. One thing I will mention quickly, in the background, this shouldn't matter too much considering you can literally hear the helicopter rotors. If you hear a fan in the background, I do apologise. Unfortunately it is incredibly hot in the UK here. This is the disadvantage of recording videos in the middle of May, even at 2 AM. It is still ridiculously hot, so I have to have that on or else I'll melt. So my apologies about that. Although again, I mean, the helicopter blades is probably more irritating to your ears than that is. And you will hear them a fair bit more in this video. It's not a long thing, chopper checkpoint, it's just the fact that 4 of them means this video is gonna be a pretty hard one to ramble through, considering there's not really much more to say. I do miss checkpoints quite often. As usual, the rather poor helicopter hit detection when it comes to checkpoints, although I guess in that case I'd literally fly over it. They should really have made the checkpoints a little bit more open when it comes to helicopters. Instead they just use the same checkpoint system as they used in stuff like the Vice City street races, which aren't too bad in road cars, even if they are a little bit weird, but I mean for helicopters especially, they are a little bit more awkward. This course is actually more awkward than the Ocean Beach one. The Ocean Beach one, probably the easiest. Either Ocean Beach or one of the ones coming up are the easiest of the bunch. But yeah, no, this one's actually quite tricky as you pull a few different maneuvers and stuff. But once again, I mean, with no time limit to really restrict you on this, you go pretty much as fast as you can finish the run, so I mean it doesn't really matter which one's more difficult than the other. You're not going to have any chance of really injuring the helicopter unless you're an absolute moron, so yeah, not too bad. I mean, I guess at least we get to showcase the Sparrow helicopter, which is not something we see very often in the game at all. We pretty much use it during G Spotlight and that's about it. Oh, sorry, the Martha's mugshot. The one in downtown is at the office buildings where we did indeed complete G-Spotlight. Of course, we drove the PCJ up the escalator, or elevator, just to my right there, the interior of the building. This one, to be honest with you, Chopper Checkpoint in general is one of those things where if you don't know about it, you probably didn't, sorry, because the game doesn't tell you, if you didn't find one of these by accident, chances are you wouldn't even know this exists in the game, so a lot of you, this is probably the first time you're actually seeing it, although the one in downtown, probably the one you're going to more organically find. You know, the one in Vice Point's pretty out of the way, the one in Ocean Beach and also the one in Little Haiti are both on top of rooftops, which you wouldn't normally go to unless you're going for stunt jumps. So this one, out of all of them, is probably the one that you've actually done, but yes, no, there are 4 of them and they are all required for 100% completion, which, yeah, I mean, they're fine, don't get me wrong, I don't mind stuff like this, it's sort of technical flying, which is fine by me, but, yeah, no, there's more interesting vehicle missions in this game, although, comparing this to something like the RC Raider mission at the airports, you know, I'd take 15 of these over that thing, because the RC helicopter is really boring to fly. I mean, this is much more interesting, but at least these are a lot quicker, and also are more varied in terms of the obstacles you have to deal with. Maybe this downtown one's the easiest of all of them, because you don't really, there's not too much in the way of exact flying in these. There's a few, when you start going lower to the ground, there's a chance the blades will snag on like a lamppost or something, but beyond that, this one's actually pretty easy. Like, it's pretty easy, and it's also quite fun because there's some interesting obstacles. There's the office building, in case you're wondering. I love how in these older GTA games, and in fact GTA games in general, you can really tell what you're meant to actually go into as opposed to what you're not. Other than like that one office building, I'll point this out during the San Andreas LP, there's like this one office building that's like, you can see through the entire thing, and I've always wanted to get inside it, but you just can't during the game, so I don't know if that was like a cut mission or something, but yeah, no. Either way, that is probably the easiest chopper checkpoint in my opinion, the most fun as well. Moving on to the one in Little Haiti. This one, I don't actually show the helicopter where it spawns, because for whatever reason it wasn't spawning. However, using the Sparrow from the previous downtown one, I managed to accidentally get this mission start. So the helicopter should spawn on this building here with the billboard. However, if you land a Sparrow there, then apparently it just begins. In fact, you get leg up on yourself as well, because the blades are already spinning, so you don't have to spend time preparing for takeoff. So maybe if you're going for a bit of a speedrun tactic, there you go. But yeah, no, there should be a Sparrow spawn up there. For whatever reason, it just wasn't spawning. It could be another PS4 issue. We've seen those with Top Fun vans where they don't quite spawn properly. But I couldn't find anything on the internet that would detail an issue there, but yeah, something worth bearing in mind if you are curious. But yeah, once again, I mean, these are pretty straightforward. Fly helicopter through checkpoints, pick them up, get $100 at the end of it. This is the 4th and final one. Yeah, no, none of these really present any major challenge, and once again, they're pretty throwaway. It's honestly kind of surprising they're even in the game, considering there are the remote control missions, which kind of, or I mean, the funny thing is, despite this game introducing helicopters, when you think about it, there is actually a sort of distinct lack of any missions that really involve helicopters. Martha's Mugshot's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, in terms of where you're actually flying the helicopter, so maybe they want to show off a little bit. But I think they could have done that better with like a hunter destruction obstacle course or something. That'd be a bit more cool, but hey, these are the cards we're given. This game is several years old, we must give it credit, 18 years old, so who knows what Rockstar was thinking at the time. They certainly wouldn't think that they'd be spending 7 years developing a GTA game, but there you go. Anyways, we are coming to the end of our chopper checkpointing. This little Haiti one actually isn't as bad as I remember it being. I guess you just have to avoid the trees. That's really it, and these just avoid obstacles and you're pretty much good to go. Anyways, as we fly through the final checkpoint, we'll take our final $100 for the day. And that is all of the chopper checkpoints shown and accounted for. So get out there and start collecting some checkpoints. Join us next time when we'll be taking a look at the ammunition rifle range, which is the final side mission we have to do in the entire game, and the final pre-recorded video we have to do in this entire LP. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.